Even though Todd's not here, should probably get started.
Sure.
All right, so I'd like to call this meeting to order. Jack, please. Thank you all for attending this morning. Happy Thursday, everyone. And now the recording secretary will take roll.
All righty, Chair Rivera,
Here.
Board Member Renteria,
Here.
Board Member Pace. Here. And Board Member Sweet.
Here.
All right, let the record reflect that all board members are present with the exception of Board Member Anderson.
Thank you, Jack. Item number 2 is remote participation under AB 2449 if needed. I believe none is needed today. All right, moving on to new business. Again, this is a special meeting. So new business, 3.1 event support funding. Meredith Knudsen will be making a presentation and recommendations for the 2025 event support funding provided by the selection panel. Meredith, good morning.
Great. Thank you, Chair Rivera. And hello, everyone. So today we will be reviewing the proposed and recommended event support funding for July 1 till December 31st for this year. Just a brief overview. The applications were open from February 1st through March 31st of 2025. And the events must take place July 1 through December 31st of this year. We had a total of 15 applications. 4 of those were ineligible. That was due to the event location and then also the event dates did not fall within that time period. And we had 3 new events. The total event support funding that was requested was $172,600. And the SRTBI funding available is, I put 50,000 here and I spoke with the selection panel. We could discuss it as well. Is that we have $100,000 to give away every year. And since this is half of the year, we worked with $50,000. But when we were speaking with the selection panel, we're saying we could go a little, we could recommend a little above and we could recommend a little below, depending on the events and what we felt appropriate. As brought to you at the last meeting, we re-reviewed the questions together here and recommended some new questions for the selection panel to review. One was how well does this event contribute to the goal of SRTBIA, which was to increase overnight visits to the area? The second is how effectively does this proposed event plan to market outside of Sonoma and neighboring counties? How well does the event demonstrate long-term sustainability with additional funding sources? And then the overall application score. So the selection panel, we had a first round of virtual scoring online with those questions. And then we met in person to review the applications. During that in-person meeting, we did not do another round of scoring because we were just diving into the applications, the budgets, looking at their histories, and talking about the longevity here in Santa Rosa, the impact, et cetera, for the community. So our recommendation today is broken down below. The recommendation is for the full 50,000 for this year. We start with Snoopy Senior World Hockey, recommending 17,500. The Santa Rosa Marathon, recommending 15,000. Inspiration Sports Foundation for 2,500, Pride and Vino 5,000, Turkey Trot 5,000, and Winter Blast 5,000. And then you'll see the remaining below that we are not recommending any funding to. This year, we're also in discussion on with this recommended funding is the use of it. Before we, while they did meet the criteria of the questions, we didn't specify in the letters to them exactly how we would like this to be used. So for this, with our recommendation, we're also recommending that this funding is to be used for marketing purposes. The only difference is for Snoopy Senior World Hockey. They are looking at player gifts, jackets, etc., which we think would brand Santa Rosa. And this has been with their history with us and their past event recap reports have been really successful. We think the Santa Rosa branding for that could be really key. And that does put a lot of heads in beds as well. So we'd be looking to focus on the marketing efforts of these outside of Sonoma and neighboring counties, and all of them in their applications of breakdown of budget had mentioned that that's what they were looking to do with it. So we just want to be clear in those letters to them that that's what we're looking for. And then also we went through their websites and just to ensure that they're promoting Santa Rosa hotels, our logos, et cetera. So in the letters to them of receiving this, if it is passed today, we would want to note that in there so we could really start to leverage those areas. So the recommendation for today is to approve the SRTBIA event support funding for July 1 to December 31st, 2025.
Thank you very much, Meredith, for that detailed explanation and your recommendation as well. I'd like to turn it up to the board. See if you have any questions or comments. Questions for Meredith.
Question, so on the budgets that were submitted, so each of those had marketing outside of Sonoma County a minimum, at least that amount, if not more, right? in the budget?
Not all of that amount, no. The Santa Rosa Marathon, yes, I believe theirs was actually a whole $20,000, maybe even more that they do in event guides, et cetera. Winter Blast, I believe theirs was 6,900 for marketing, et cetera. But all of them did with the recommendation would be able to spend the majority of it on marketing besides the Snoopy Senior World Hockey with the gifts. Yeah.
So you could see then from their budget that they'd be able to meet that criteria that's.
Snoopy Hockey, on their website, they list 6 hotels specifically. And I think maybe one of them in Roanoke Park.
We spoke about that actually, and I know Todd couldn't make it today as well. Scott, we're on the selection panel, and our concern of that we would like them to list a lot more Santa Rosa hotels. Todd brought that up at the selection panel,
Right.
And so that started us diving into more like, hey, $17,500. We want to ensure that our Santa Rosa hotels are a prime spot on your website.
So, because Visit Santa Rosa has a link, a URL link that goes to all hotels,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yeah, and we
So,
usually share that with the event hosts.
yeah, so can you require them to provide that link? That would
Yeah,
be.
That would be really
great.
good, actually, if
we do
we.
have all of them do it. So it's, yeah, or at least that's something we've
Yeah.
been really pushing for in the last year. Yeah.
I was gonna look on their website.
It's,
But it's a
yeah,
request and not a requirement, right? Or it has been.
Yeah, and I don't have the copy of the email on me right now, but it's in the email. Yeah.
Yeah, so we could make it a requirement.
Yeah, I mean, it's
great.
in the emails that Lindsay sent out last, so this one. So I'll be the one that sends it out, so I'll make sure it goes in there.
Yeah, I forget exactly if I made how many people the event draws, but they're here for like an entire week or so,
Mhm.
right?
Mhm.
I believe it's about 7,500 or so.
And a lot are Canadians too, which hopefully their attendance will still be up, right?
Maybe it's the one way to get them here.
It's also this is for their 50th anniversary.
Oh,
That's great.
And 1,100 players and approximately 6,000 spectators.
Wow.
About 80% are coming from outside of Sonoma County. So I agree with the hotels. They said that they currently do not have any hotel room packages in place. So that's something ideally we could work on together and communicate with them those packages as well as the update to their website with Santa Rosa hotels and that link.
Yes. Our email, it says, number 3 is a direct link on the event website to visit santarosa.com. Actually, it should be /stays. I would update that, or an event specific.
all right. Any other comments, questions? Given that this is a special meeting, there are no public comments.
Well, I'd like to make a public comment.
There's no generalized public comments on matters not on the agenda, but we can call for public comment for this specific item.
Oh,
Yes.
thank you for
It's-
that.
It's less than normal. right?
Thank you for that clarification.
Is there a
Jack.
copy of this for the meeting? Of the information that you have, they usually have a copy of the.
I believe there's a hyperlink to
There's a
the
link.
agenda, and then you can open this document.
Okay, well, I went to the office this morning and I didn't get one, so could someone get me one before we leave today? please? Okay, all right, so, I heard you say 50th anniversary, is that for what?
For Snoopy Senior World Hockey.
Well, we celebrated that a few years ago. They opened in, 1969, but are they doing it again?
It says here 50-year anniversary on their
Maybe it's the
application.
tournament, possibly the senior tournament, maybe.
Yeah, the tournament has been going on year after
Oh.
year. I guess they're celebrating their 50th anniversary, but
Okay.
it's something that happens once a year and
Oh.
at the ice arena, and they invite folks
Okay.
from throughout
Well,
the.
at the 50th anniversary, they had a blackout
Hmm.
and there were all kinds of problems around it. They were supposed to reopen. The museum had to be closed for a time. The ice was melting. There were a lot of things that were happening at that. So I just was curious when I hear 50th anniversary,
Yeah,
what are we celebrating?
I think it's for the hockey tournament.
Maybe
The
the
senior
Thank
hockey.
you.
senior hockey tournament, yeah.
All right, I'm good. Thanks.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Yeah.
All right, well, if there aren't any other comments or questions, I'd like to move this item for make a motion. The approval of the recommendations by is it the city or Meredith, public
Arts and Culture Coordinator.
arts and culture committee, no, wait, arts and culture
Coordinator.
coordinator, Meredith. And well, approve that motion. Or I'd like to make a motion to approve the recommendations by the Meredith, Knutson, our public arts coordinator.
Second. You're sure you're making the motion?
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Jack, do you take a,
Normally we do call the names.
Right, right.
We can do that just for a little recording here.
Right.
Sorry about that. Chair Rivera?
aye, I mean, yes.
Aye works. Board Member Renteria?
Oh, I did say aye.
Yes, I'm just going through our little motions here. Board Member Pace?
Yes,
All right, and then Board Member Sweet.
Yes.
All right, let the record reflect, the motion passes unanimously.
Okay, well, there aren't any other items on the agenda, so that adjourns our meeting this morning. I'd like to thank you all for attending. Appreciate your support. Thank you.
Well, good luck, everyone. I hope this is successful.